r/askreddit. Like Hitler's mustache, what nice things did some idiot ruin for everyone else? Actually needing to talk to the manager. Years ago I used to work at an insurance company. I was like 18 and you'd get people phoning up complaining about things. Given my low level, I really wasn't supposed to be fixing people's complaints. There's nothing I can do, and given my low level of pay, why should I stick my neck out to appease someone when I wasn't really supposed to? Sometimes after endless hedging they'd eventually ask to speak to the manager. Finally. I wish they simply said, "Can I speak to the manager?" as the first thing they said. Everything would have been solved a million times quicker. The thing is, the manager would never accept the call being transferred to them, unless the caller actually asked to speak to the manager. Where I work, the actual manager never takes calls. They manage people, not accounts. Sending back food that actually has something wrong with it. I got served a burger once and when I bit and the center was frozen. It crunched like when you bite a popsicle. When I told the waiter, he gave me that look and said, "You ordered it rare, miss." He looked mortified after I showed him what I was talking about, but it's idiots that send their food back for stupid reasons that made the whole situation awkward and uncomfortable. I once ate out with a friend and his lettuce had actual grains of sand dirt and it was crunchy. He called the manager over because we couldn't find the waiter and he said, "I'm not comping your meal." Wow, we weren't even thinking of that. I had to send a steak back once because they served me fish. Then I had to argue that me getting billed for both the fish and steak wasn't right. My partner used to manage a heap of pubs, restaurants and has loads of stories of regulars who consistently sent food back every time they ordered just to get something calmed. Idiots aiming green laser pointers at planes. It got them banned here in Switzerland. They were also used by observatories to show the sky to people, but now we can't do it anymore. In all fairness, the sky isn't that hard to find. ISIS kinda fucked everyone with the name ISIS, and anyone who could be named that in the future. Which sucks because it's a very beautiful name with an even more beautiful meaning. Ha, you don't know the half of it. A college in my area used ISIS as their online portal name and had to change it to SIS because it was telling people to join ISIS in emails otherwise. On the TV show Archer, the spy agency for the first few seasons was the International Secret Intelligence Service. Then in season 6, I think, they got shut down by the FBI and became drug weapon dealers. When Archer got back to spying again, they were just CIA contractors instead of ISIS. Imagine how pissed the Egyptian goddess is right now about it. Archer season 1 aired in 2009. The protagonist's spy agency was named ISIS. They eventually renamed it and even moved from the spy theme, but rewatching it now adds a whole new layer of irony to simple quotes as with ISIS on board. What could possibly go wrong? Hitler also ruined the swastika. And the name Adolf. He also made waving awkward. Happy Cake Day. He also ruined most of Poland. Hitler ruined raising my hand in school. Now every time I raise it, I have to make sure it's not at a certain angle and it has to be at a 90-degree angle. Peter Dinklage simultaneously made people realize that dwarfs can be sexy and also raised the bar way too high for the rest of us. Fuck you, Peter, you sexy man. You can just walk under the bar. He's a beast of an actor. I can't wait to see what he does next. I remember some years ago, probably before GOT, someone told me that after Austin Powers 2 dwarf actors were suddenly, and possibly briefly, able to earn a lot more. It's all in his space pants. Many animals in Australia. Someone brought a cane toad to Australia thinking it would kill pests. In reality, they have grown so much that they have destroyed the ecosystems and food chains. It's so sad how we will never know how good the wildlife would have been without that prick. Similarly, the stupid arsehole that brought starlings to America because he wanted all the birds mentioned in Shakespeare to be here. Fucking Bart Simpson. The name Karen. Reddit, you did this. This is exactly where my mind went. I know exactly one Karen and she is a total sweetheart. I want to formally apologize to all the nice Karens out there. My sister-in-law is named Karen, but she's more like the anti-Karen. My mom is the opposite of Reddit Karen, but she is Karen. It's a weird paradox. The FCC ruined the telephone because they allow robocalls and telemarketers to do whatever the F they want. This is Alice from Visamassacred Services. Trench coats. Yeah, I had a nice one back in the day and those Columbine shit figures ruined it for me. Couldn't wear it without some moron kid making some comment about how just because I wore it I was probably going to hit up a school. People were that nuts about them because of that. Nah, they're not ruined, but just don't wear one if you're not wearing something formal or you'll look dumb. Same with most full-brimmed hats. You can thank Richard Reed for all of us having to take our shoes off to get on an airplane. Who and why? Creative names for kids. I think the less common names are pretty awesome, but all of those dumb parents who decided to just spell a common name with extra letters or something kinda ruined it. What, do you mean Breck Slayton and Ashley Eileen aren't awesome? A unique name used to be so cool. Now it's just same old, same old. The classic names are now noteworthy. Names like Jane, Eleanor, Patrick and Alexander. I hear those names and I appreciate them more. I was telling my husband that I'm actually really starting to like the name Dorian. Totally agree. Years ago this gal, from my office, named her daughter Mary, but spelled it Marie. Her daughter had the spelling legally changed to Mary when she turned 18. She told me she was sick of having to spell her name all the time. My parents took a very normal name, stuck an I right in the middle, gave it to me, and then found out years later that it's a legitimate spelling in other parts of the world. I am probably one of the whitest people ever with my name, but I'd say I lucked out. My initials are literally SS. I'm German, so I guess that counts. Same with anyone born in 1988. Being brown and flying on a plane with a beard. The Tsar is a bitch because of the damn Taliban. The Tsar is a bitch, period. All the violence in schools nowadays. If you get into a fight on security cameras and fight back as self-defense, the school will still punish you and the aggressor. Edit, aka zero tolerance. Some schools will punish you even if you don't do anything. Even if somebody comes up to you and punches you, you'll also be punished for fighting. If I wasn't able to fight back, I'm pretty sure I would have been actually murdered by my bullies in school. I don't have, or want, kids, but this is still so infuriating. One of the many reasons I decided not to have kids. I was relentlessly bullied, and it wasn't until junior high I really started fighting back when it finally dawned on me that the school won't actually do anything about it. Then suddenly I wasn't allowed to defend myself anymore or I'd get in trouble. I missed a field trip because some dude punched me the day before. I didn't even have a chance to retaliate before a teacher broke it up, but because I made a fist, I sat in detention while everyone else went on a field trip to a place I had always wanted to go. That one guy that put 75 terabytes of movies on a drive unlimited storage. Olina Stech tips Linus abused the Google Drive thing for their 1000s of terabytes on video footage. Berlusconi founded a party named Forza Italia, which is exactly what you would shout during a sport match. Go Italy. Now nobody says it as it feels extremely awkward. Sounds like the name of a racing game. Men ruined online dating for men. Women ruined it for women as well. Terrorists in general with ski masks. People still wear ski masks without being afraid that they will be misjudged. Hey, I still wear a ski mask when I need to rob a place. Pokemon in elementary, just because some kid decided to pelt a pokeball at someone's skull. Is that what happened? I remember the rumor at my elementary school was some kid managed to suffocate himself from the pokeballs that came with the kid's meal when Burger King was promoting the first movie. Apparently he slammed on a table and the pokeball pulled some Final Destination shit by landing directly on his mouth and it suffocated him somehow. A girl in my class in school got a concussion when we were playing football. Since then no girls at the school have been allowed to play football, meanwhile the boys are still allowed. This happened 8 years ago. I've graduated and to my knowledge the rule still applies. That's pure sexism. I think it's funny all these women named Danny or Daenerys because for 20 years the name was associated with a honorable, self-assured, and righteous woman. And then, not. Daenerys, I have faith in myself, I will rule the 7 kingdoms. I am the breaker of chains, and together we will rid the world of slavery and injustice. Also Daenerys, Ompheo, let's burn a surrendering city. Any general interaction with children when you are an older male. Like in the Joker movie trailer when the mom told Jay to stop bothering her kid. That was an awesome and wholesome moment and both people were getting a kick out of it. Then some worthless idiots for some reason decided to be creeps and ruin even simple interactions, such as that, for the rest of us normal people. I used to work in a hands-on science museum and I discovered that I have a talent for connecting with kids under 10. I can get them interested in stuff you'd never imagine a kid would care about and I can keep them from going wild when they are overstimulated. I love kids but I am a 50-year-old single guy and kind of a loner. If I see a kid I avoid them. When someone decides you're sketchy it's all better safe than sorry and the best you can hope for is some really nasty questioning. Worst case doesn't bear contemplating. Being named Osama. I live in the US. One of best friends is Egyptian. He has at least 4 friends with that name. It's super common over there. That one ass clown ruined the name for everyone. The KKK kinda ruined dressing up like a ghost. I know a black girl who went as a ghost for Halloween. One of the houses opened the door and asked if she was a little Klansman. How has no one said this? The name Alexa. Ted in accounting. We can't make proper coffee ever since he busted the machine. Idiot. Good. All according to plan. 88. I know Hitler's crew ran with that insignia, but I'm Chinese Canadian and 8/8 sounds like luck fortune and we have the habit of doubling down on things for good fortune. I've had so many nasty comments directed my way because of my username. Like calm your panties. I am not a neo-Nazi asshole. Just look through my post history. Some people's children. Shout out to you Gasedus88. Not his fault he was born that year. The movie Sideways killed Merlot sales for a while. Apparently, that movie caused a ton of issues for Napa Valley tourism. They did have a huge boom, but the tourists were rude and would do stupid shit from the movie, like drink from the spit bowl and spill it everywhere. Till, some people consider Hitler's mustache nice. Sometimes when I shave in the shower I alternate sides of my mustache until I leave a little Hitler stash. I think if it wasn't for Hitler a lot more people would give it a go. Maybe we can bring it into fashion. In hindsight, maybe I should have posted this in our show Our Thoughts. Hawaii used to be mosquito free. Some guy brought them to the island in a jar and released them into the wild. Right, but that saved the earth according to Lilo and Stitch. The fedora. Twofold. The fedora is an amazing hat, but cringy fat slobs had tarnished its reputation. Now if you wear it you are seen as a fucking internet idiot. Also, most fedora sold now are not fedora. Most of the time they are trilby hats. What ruined hats like that was almost everyone wearing them with casual shit. Are you wearing a 3-piece suit? Okay, sure, put the hat on. Are you wearing dirty jeans and some fucking weeb t-shirt? No. Stop. The number 69. I have played hockey with that number all my life, and nobody takes me seriously anymore. Pumpkin spice is pretty stellar, but now you're a basic bitch for liking it. There's nothing wrong with being basic. If you want to listen to Taylor Swift's latest album, drink a pumpkin spice latte and wear some Lululemon, go for it. Hitler ruined the name Adolf. He also ruined the name Hitler. Hitler's father Alois Hitler Sr., 1837-1903, was the illegitimate child of Maria Anna Schicklgruber. The baptismal register did not show the name of his father, and Alois initially bore his mother's surname Schicklgruber. In 1842, Johann Georg Hitler married Alois's mother Maria Anna. Alois was brought up in the family of Hitler's brother, Johann Nepomuk Hitler. In 1876, Alois was legitimated and the baptismal register changed by a priest to register Johann Georg Hitler as Alois's father, recorded as Georg Hitler. Alois then assumed the surname Hitler, also spelled Hitler, Hutler, or Hootler. The name is probably based on one who lives in a hut, German hut for hut. Thank God they didn't ruin the name Nepomuk. One time my guy came up in front of our group of friends and said, "Hey, if you don't mind could you share your nut milk," and then everyone was just staring at him, completely bamboozled, until he reached over and poured himself a cup of almond milk. Since then I haven't been able to drink almond milk the same. I believe nut juice is the proper term. Large companies ruined copyright laws. buying ice cream. All because some idiot couldn't keep their tongue in their mouth. My trans friend announced his new chosen name, Brock, about a week before the convicted rapist Brock Turner thing. That was a disappointment. My local grocery store used to sell self-serve shelled and unshelled pistachios. Someone kept putting shelled pistachios in a bag and ringing up unshelled pistachios. They don't sell self-serve pistachios anymore. Say sell self-serve shelled pistachios 3 times quickly. Men ruined dick pics for men. You flooded the market, boys. You devalue the artsy dick pic by sending them out scattershot to women who didn't even want to see them, which is an asshole move, by the way, and now women who would otherwise be kind of open to seeing your junk feel no desire to because they can open up any online dating app or social media site and be bombarded by them anytime they choose, which they won't, because it's passé now. You know why the tit pic still has an air of desirability about it? Because women don't send them out to everyone who shows them even the faintest interest. We kept the market buoyant. From talking to female friends, including bisexuals, I'd honestly say women are not as interested in pictures of dicks as men are into breasts from the get-go. I mean, the equivalent of the penis is not breasts, it's the vagina. Which is way less popular as a thing. Guys like to stare at them breasts, butts, and legs. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that women probably like a picture of ripped abs or pecs much more, possibly as much as men like tit pics, but the kind of diffusers sending dick pics probably don't have the physique to show off. Trump and red hats. Lol. I have a red hat with white letters that I dare not wear in public anymore. Inviting kids to your private amusement park. The classic example, going to class and finding out that you had no homework for the weekend. Yay. Then you realize there are 2 absolute knobs talking goofing off in the back of the room. And then the teacher says, "That's right guys, thanks to Willie and Bob I'm assigning homework to you all as a punishment." Everyone say thank you Willie and Bob. The only thing you can guess is that the teacher really wanted to beat Willie and Bob's asses for daring to talk in her class, but because she was not allowed to, she would provoke the rest of us into doing it. And you can bet that their asses got beat for ruining it for the rest of us. Fun plane rides. Damn Osama bin Laden. One family ruined an 80-year-old roller coaster and messed up the coasters in an entire state. The roller coaster at Idlewild Park in Ligonier, PA, was built in 1938 and had never had an injury until 2017. A family boarded the coaster, and the 2 kids, ages 3 and 7, were seated together. The smaller child was placed in the inside seat, as required, but before the train left the station, the kids switched seats. As the train made a turn, the 3-year-old fell out of the open side of the train and was severely injured. The park was blamed because the 7-year-old was less than half an inch under the 48 inches minimum to ride without an adult. The 3-year-old was allowed to ride with a 48 inches passenger. The ride operators didn't see the kids switch seats, either. As a result, the park had to replace the entire train with a hideous new one that has gigantic safety wings, seat belts, and locking safety bars. The entire state has cracked down, strongly encouraging the addition of extra seat belts to all coasters. The extra safety devices have resulted in extra expense, higher maintenance, and increased wait times on rides. All because 2 kids switched seats. Terrorists creating the Tsar. Idiots in Balkan that hate on every other nation and making us look bad, when in reality they are less than 10%. And this is for both sides. You are all assholes. We are all brothers. Croats, Serbs, Bosnians, Montenegrins. It's to the point if you say that you are patriotic, people think that you must hate someone, but in reality you just fucking love your country. Glad I got that off my chest. I could think of some. Someone ruined senior prank day by taking a goat to school. Got it banned. The worst part was, I was in grade 11 at the time. My senior class got shafted because of someone else's bad decision and a goat. The Nazis ruined German patriotism forever.